my heart, Lord. Speak what is true. Here's my heart, Lord. Here's my heart. Here's my life. Welcome. Let's all take a nice, deep, unified breath in. And as we exhale, let's put our hands on our heart. Giving thanks for this time to be together. Giving thanks for the words that are brought to us from our higher holy self. We express a willingness to hear that guidance and to live accordingly. We ask that as we start every day, we wake up knowing that we want to do better and be better. We want to rise higher, pray harder, forgive steadily, and love readily in all circumstances, everywhere and anywhere, and everyone. And today we make that commitment again, once again, every step we take. We reevaluate our own willingness and our own depth of conviction to that very commitment. So let's take another nice deep breath together and exhale into this moment together. Happy Holy Thursday. Regardless of when you hear it, this broadcast, whenever you take me with you to be together, to hear what might speak to you. I am recording on Friday, February 17th. I know I said Happy Holy Thursday because it usually drops on a Thursday. And yesterday was a very special Thursday, a very holy, sacred Thursday. Yesterday was the Thursday. It was 1 year of Thursdays ago that we lost our beloved Pam Robb. And so yesterday I decided to take the day off, to treat it as a day of serenity and silence. It just so happened that I passed the rescue house where Pam was killed. And I was suddenly filled with anxiety and sadness. I took my little dog to the beach so we could have some time of honoring and memorializing her memory. And yet I was in, my spirit was disrupted. I was having a hard time. There was a lot of things that happened this week that had my spirit in a state of unrest. We had the Michigan shootings at the Michigan State University, and that was, according to the news, that was the 71st mass shooting in the United States. And we have less than 70 days in the year so far. That was like at around day 48, something like that. And that doesn't include other gun-related deaths that are not considered mass shootings. So there was that. There was the anniversary of Pam's death, and the prognosis of my little dog. He's been given a prognosis of bone cancer with a very short amount of time left to live. So on the heels of all of that, I sent out on my daily WhatsApp text to the group. I sent this text. It says, "Be happy, not because everything is good, but because you can see the good in everything." And then I said, "Really, Lori, are you really believing that today? Feeling sad, feeling cynical, feeling upset, feeling bothered by the social condition of our gun-happy country. My little dog, my friend Pam, my beloved spiritual sister." And I went to the beach and I said, why did I send that out if I wasn't really feeling it? And it occurred to me it was because deep down, I do believe it. Regardless of what I'm feeling in my human reactivity at the moment, I still believe that we have to find some goodness, some light, some opportunity to be of light, to be a helpful, holy voice in the world. And it just so happened that I was already wanting to share the lesson that is one of my favorites. I know I say that all the time, but this really is one of my favorites, which is lesson 41, God goes with me wherever I go. And the reason I love this lesson so much is because of what is said in the third paragraph. It says, deep within you is everything that is perfect, ready to radiate through you out into the world. It will cure all sorrow, pain, and fear and loss, because it will heal the mind that thought these things were real and suffered out of allegiance to them. You can never be deprived of your perfect holiness, because its source goes with you wherever you go. And this lesson is directly related to another paragraph that's one of my favorites. It's from the text, chapter 25, on a section called The Light You Bring. And this says, in you is all of heaven. Every leaf that falls is given life in you. Every bird that ever sang will sing again in you. And every flower that ever bloomed has saved its perfume and its loveliness for you. What aim can supersede the will of God and his children, that heaven can be restored in him for whom it was created as their only true home? So how do we make peace with everything that's going on in the world? And how do we believe in this perfect holiness, this perfect unified sonship? And it is because beyond this, in the quantum field, we've been speaking of the quantum field, quantum forgiveness, in that place beyond our physical selves, and that place beyond this particular plane of space and time, there is a place of holiness and sacredness and perfectness. And wherever we are, however we are in the moment of time and circumstance, we can remember that other perfect place. And we can remember that we belong there. And we can remember that we are headed there, that we are moving in that direction, and that everything else is a temporary forgetfulness. So much of our time is temporary forgetfulness, because our time here on earth is temporary. And so much of that time is spent in spiritual amnesia, in the forgetting. And so what we can do when we remember is whatever it is called for us to do. How can we be helpful in this moment? How can we be less upset than the majority? How can we not add to the energy that is bringing hate or unkindness into the world? What is it that we can do to be the help that rushes in, the hope that rushes in, the light that stands firm in its conviction? And so we turn to, for me, I turn to the Course for inspiration. And it continuously brings me back to words like that, that tell us that we can only do whatever in that moment we remember to do. And so if in that moment I can be in my upset, but can remember that there's more than just this moment of upset, there is this place, this quantum field where I can move my consciousness toward, then when I interact with my brothers and sisters, I can bring more of a calm state of being. Lesson 25 a few weeks ago reminds us that I do not know what anything is for. We ultimately do not know the bigger picture. We see snapshots, just like those days of printing pictures. We would go to a party, we'd take pictures, and then we'd go to Eckerd Drugs or whatever place you went to pick up your pictures, and you'd look through them and you'd have your memories, but they were only snapshots of the memory. It wasn't whatever was going on behind the scene of your particular print. Because we don't know what anything is for. And so we aim and aspire to be brought back to a place of peace, to have the willingness to move out of our upset of the moment. That's not to say we can't have our upset of the moment. Let's have it. It's like having a good meal. Like if you're on a diet, if you're on a really strict diet, and then you have a cheat day and you decide you're just going to eat something greasy and bad for you, you don't have to beat yourself up for that. You might have a little indigestion later, but you don't have to beat yourself up for it. You say, I'm going to have my cheat day. It's a very similar situation with our spiritual and our emotional selves. We know where we want to be. We know how we want to be. And yet sometimes we're just not there. And so we can remember that all we need to do is allow ourselves that spiritual indigestion for just a moment, and then rise back up, because we don't know what anything is for. I came across an old story the other day, and you probably know the story. It's been around for a long time, but it's always somehow given like an ethnicity or a region or a religion. So I'm just going to tell it as the poor farmer story. So the poor farmer went out to feed his horse, his one horse, and the horse had run away. And his neighbor said, "Oh no, that's terrible. Your horse ran away." And he said, "Maybe it's terrible, maybe it's not." The next day, the horse came back with 3 other horses. And the neighbor said, "That's amazing. You're so lucky. Now you have 4 horses." And the farmer said, "Well, maybe I'm lucky. Maybe I'm not. I don't know." The next day after that, his son was out playing on one of the new horses and he fell off. The horse stepped on him, broke his leg, broke his back. The boy was in the hospital for a long time. And the neighbor said, "Oh, I'm so sorry. That's so terrible. What happened to your son?" And he said, "Maybe it's terrible. Maybe it's not." A few days after the son got home from the hospital, the local military police came by and they said, "We're recruiting young able-bodied men to join us." And he said, "No, my son can't join your army. He's injured." And they said, "Yeah, no, can't take him with us." And the neighbor said, "That's amazing. Your son didn't have to go into the army because of his injury." Guess what the old farmer said? The poor farmer. Maybe, maybe not. Why? Because he understood deeply, as we are led and asked to understand, that we don't know what anything is for. And so we can only do what we know we are here for. We are here to rise. We are here to be kind. We are here to be compassionate. We are here to withdraw any negative energy from our own selves to put it out into the world. We are here to have our moment, but then rise above it, to be helpful, to be hopeful, to be kind, to be loved, to be light as best we can. We're not walking on water. We're not saving the world out there. We're saving the world in here. What is right in front of you? Who is right in front of you? What is given you to do at any given time? An act of kindness, an act of deep listening, whatever it is for you to do. And so we do our spiritual practices so that we can get back into a place of balance. A friend of mine recently suggested that I do the exercises in this book. It's called The Magic by Rhonda Byrne. It's the same woman who did the Secret. And I picked it up, but I didn't do anything with it. I kind of tossed it aside. And but my friend was actually doing it. It's a 28-day program. So she keeps encouraging me to pick it up. So finally, the other day I picked it up. And the very first day, it tells you to take out a notebook and write 10 things that you feel you're blessed by and why you're grateful for them. And so I did that. And the next day you add 10 more. Well, the next day was yesterday, my grumpy day, my upset day, my bothered day. So I had to stretch a little bit. And you know what? I came up with 10 things that really touched my heart. The kindness of strangers that I encountered yesterday was amazing. So many things that happened that helped me move out of my upset state. It didn't take me out of the awareness of those things. It didn't take me out of the deeper sorrow that I might have on a human level about those things, but it helped me to rise higher. And so I'm remembering as I'm doing these gratitude lists that A Course in Miracles is always reminding us to be grateful, always reminding us to find something to be grateful for. And so today we're going to look at that lesson 41 that tells us that deep within us is everything perfect, everything good, everything that can bring healing. And we're going to believe it. We're going to, even if it's just for a moment, just take a moment to suspend all doubt. Let's take a nice deep breath in together. And on the exhalation, release all doubt. And just knowing you don't know what everything is for, but you do know that you are needed. That you are needed as someone who remembers your holiness and your goodness, the depth of the grandeur within you that allows you to be a peaceful, loving presence in this world. You are needed. You are holy. You are divine. You also might remember this Desiderata, the Desiderata. You know, it's interesting. Just as I was going through my grumpy day yesterday, my upset, things just kept showing up, and this was one of them. And I'm just gonna, I mean, it's long, so I'm just gonna read basically one line. Go placidly among the noise and the haste, and remember what peace there may be found in silence. Go calmly, lovingly, in a state of surrender, in a state of willingness, in a state of openness to receive your guidance. Remember what peace there can be found in silence, so that you can reacquire those things you may have momentarily lost or forgotten. And one other line says, you are a child of the universe. And it reminded me of a chant that we used to sing. It says, I will be gentle with myself. I will love myself. I am a child of the universe, being born each moment. Remember that? I am a child of the universe, being born each moment. Each moment is an opportunity to reevaluate, reunite, remember, and release. So that's what we're going to do today. That's what we're going to do today. Whenever it is that you hear this, that's your day. That's your day to start anew. So when I was doing my gratitudes as required in this book, I came across this quote I wanted to share with you. It says, we can only be said to be truly alive in those moments when our hearts are conscious of our treasures. So let's be conscious of our treasures. And I want to reread the section of lesson 41 where I started. And you notice I'm not doing the whole lesson. I just want you to hear this. Deep within you is everything that is perfect. Deep within you is everything that is perfect, ready to radiate through you out into the world. Believe that, even if it's just for a moment. You know, if there's just this one moment where you can be truly, completely, wholly present in the holy, holy way, right? Holy, holy way that you can be truly present. That's an holy instant. That's an opportunity for you to feel blessing and then to be a blessing. So that's the best we can do on any given day, is to remember and to recalculate our route, right? If we're on the road to upset, our road to deep sorrow, we can recalculate. We can recalculate with willingness, with prayer, with connection to our higher holy self. So I wish that for you. I wish that for all of us. And I'm just going to end with a prayer. And this is from the Bumpy Road to Enlightenment. This is actually the very, very ending of the book. May the blessing of all that is holy, sacred, and divine rest upon you and all sentient beings. May the power of love and compassion illuminate your heart and abide in the hearts of all. May all beings live as expressions of loving kindness. May all beings live in peace now and forevermore. Amen to that. Amen to you. You are holy. You are holy indeed. You are divine. God bless you.